Are you guys also thinking about which Pokemon to pick or to buy in Season 32? Because with every new season, the developer of Pokemon Unite always makes some changes and adjustments with the Pokemons. That's why in this video, I'm gonna show you top 10 best Pokemon for solo ranking in Season 32. Along with that, I will also show you their best build, battle item, and boost emblem set with some tips and tricks. So in the number 10, we have the Zacian. It's designed as a versatile fighter that excels in close quarter combat, combining high burst damage, mobility, and self-sustain to dominate skirmishes and team fights. Even after the release of loads of new Pokemon like Mega Lucario and Impeleon, Zacian remains a strong pick, giving the new Pokemon tough competition in current meta, which speaks for itself how versatile Zacian is in every update. Zacian's core strength comes from its passive ability called Intrepid Sword. To activate this passive, all you have to do is hold down the goal scoring button. When you do this, Zacian charges its sword with AoS energy, and for a short time, its basic attack become boosted attacks. In addition, during this time, Zacian can use a boosted version of one of its moves. The longer the goal scoring button is held down, the more AoS ball is charged into the sword, lengthening the duration of the boost effect on basic attacks and moves. So basically, the more AoS ball you have, the stronger Zacian will become in fights. This makes Zacian exceptionally deadly into mid to late game, because during this time, usually you will get plentiful of AoS ball. But there is one problem. While playing Zacian, it is really hard to score, because typically you will get confused whether to score goals or save AoS ball for fights. Other than that, Zacian is super fun and strong. Anyways, this is the build and the boost emblem set you can use on Zacian. Now, let's move on to the next one. In the number 9, we have the Street Fighter Blaziken. Blaziken is a Pokemon which I also loves to play. He is one of those Pokemon which has high damage dealing capabilities, durabilities, and pretty good mobilities. In a team fight, Blaziken becomes one of the most brutal damage dealer, because most of the moveset of Blaziken deals damage in area, which helps him to kill multiple targets simultaneously. That is why the reason he is also being picked in the professional tournaments. Now, if you are thinking of playing Blaziken, then I would like to warn you, because if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, then it will be slightly difficult for you to play Blaziken, as Blaziken is not a beginner friendly Pokemon. You need a good practice in order to utilize all his moveset properly. So before you play Blaziken, make sure to master his combo. About the laning pace, you can either go on the top lane or the central area, and this is the build and the boost emblem set that I use on Blaziken. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 8, we have the Mimikyu. Most of the all-rounder fights face to face and has lots of stun, but Mimikyu is kinda different from them. That's why he has managed to come at this position. You see, Mimikyu is totally like an assassin type Pokemon, especially with the moveset like Flare Up and Shadow Sneak. With these two movesets, Mimikyu can target any specific enemy and eliminate them. He can literally one-shot any squishy Pokemon with Flare Up. Along with that, as an all-rounder, Mimikyu has pretty good durability, which helps him to sustain for quite a long time in team fights. And not to forget, the cooldown of Flare Up is pretty short. Along with that, the cooldown of Shadow Sneaks gets reset each time you kill the enemy which has Shadow Sneak mark. That's why you can easily spam his moveset during the team fight. And it isn't really that hard to master Mimikyu, so you should definitely try Mimikyu in solo ranking. About the best moveset for Mimikyu, definitely it's Flare Up and Shadow Sneak. And this is the build and the boost emblem set that I use on Mimikyu. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 7, we have the Kung Fu Boy Urshifu. Urshifu is a popular melee all-rounder in Pokemon Unite, known for its unique ability to choose between two distinct playstyles, like Single Strike Dark Urshifu for high burst damage and objective secures, and Rapid Strike Water Urshifu for sustained mobility and continuous damage dealing capabilities. Basically, Urshifu is one of the most versatile all-rounder in Pokemon Unite. That's why you will see lots of players using Urshifu in this season. And if you also wanna use Urshifu, then you should know these few things about him. Urshifu is very strong in the early game, especially with the moveset like Surging Strike and Liquidation. So whenever you use Urshifu, I would highly recommend you to go on the central area, so that you can reach level 5 as soon as possible. And once you reach level 5, make sure to play very aggressively to take down the enemies, because in the early game, his damage and durability is very high as compared to other Pokemon. So basically, early game is the best time for you to dominate wherever lane you go. About the best moveset for Urshifu, well, I personally prefer Surging Strike and Liquidation, and this is the build and the boost emblem that I use on Urshifu. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 6 we have the Mega Gyarados. Although Mega Gyarados has been released recently and we usually expect the newly Mega Pokemon to be broken, but Mega Gyarados came out as a well-adjusted Pokemon, neither too broken nor too weak in the meta. He is slightly above the balanced Pokemon. That's why he is in the top 6 of this list. Otherwise I would have placed him little bit higher. Anyways, as usual, Mega Gyarados starts as Magikarp and unlocks the Mega Pom once he uses the Unite move. Then he truly becomes a beast, which can destroy the enemies instantly with his Dragon Breath and incredible boosted melee attacks. With Mega Gyarados, it is really easy to kill and chase the backline of the opposing Pokemon if you use the Unite move properly. This thing is very useful in the final stretch to kill the damage dealer of enemy team. About the laning page for Gyarados, you can either go on the top lane or in the bottom lane. Anyways, this is the build and the boost emblem set. You can take screenshot if you want. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 5 we have the Absol. Absol is also considered as king of one shot, and there's a reason why. Absol is truly a beast, a monster in terms of dealing critical damage. The critical rate damage of Absol is so high that it can deal one shot damage to any kind of Pokemon instantly. Especially with the moveset like Night Slash and Psycho Cut, his damage can even penetrate through the defense of any defender and supporter. Not only that, the mobility of the Absol is also quite high. Because of all these things, Absol can easily kill the damage dealer who hides in the backline of the opposing team in just blink of an eye. Now the question is whether it is hard to master Absol or not. Well, to be honest, Absol isn't really that hard. You just need few matches to master him, and for the laning pace you should definitely go on the central area. Since he is a speedster, he needs quite a bit of farm, and once you reach level 7 you can destroy the enemies. About the best moveset for Absol, you can either use Night Slash with Psycho Cut or Sucker Punch with Pursuit, but I personally prefer Night Slash and Psycho Cut, and this is the build for Night Slash and Psycho Cut, and that's the build for Sucker Punch and Pursuit, and this is the boost emblem. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 4 we have the Green Kitty Leafeon. Leafeon is considered as one of the most strongest speedster, especially in the early game, because he unlocked one of his main moveset in just level 4, and the power spike of Leafeon get activated in level 6. That is why the reason he can dominate the early game very effectively. As a speedster by nature, Leafeon has a very high burst damage dealing capabilities. Along with that, the movement speed of Leafeon is super duper high, which helps him to easily reach out to the backline of the opposing team and take them down. Then he can easily escape as well, and he can easily kill those Pokemon which has low mobility and no blink abilities. Not only that, because of the unique ability of Leafeon, he can secure or steal objective very efficiently. And about the difficulty level of Leafeon, well, it's on medium level. You just need few matches with him, and then definitely you will learn how does his moveset works. For the best moveset for the Leafeon, right now it's Razor Leaf and Aerial Ace, and this is the build and the boost emblem set that I use on Leafeon. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 3 we have the ghost Pokemon Gengar. He is also known as the one-shot killing machine of Pokemon Unite. Gengar is one of those Pokemon which can kill the enemies in just few milliseconds, especially with the moveset like Dream Eater and Shadow Ball. His damage is on the extreme level. He has the potential to obliterate the entire enemy. Gengar can be truly a killing machine if you utilize his moveset properly. The damage of the Gengar is so deadly that it can even shred apart the defense of defender and supporter. Not only that, by using the Unite move, Gengar becomes invisible and can easily reach out to the damage dealer of the opposing team to assassinate them one by one from the back. This thing is really helpful, especially in the final stretch, because he can easily take down the Pokemon which is creating problem for your teammates. Now the question is whether it is hard to master Gengar or not. Well, the difficulty level of the Gengar is on the medium level. To master Gengar isn't really that hard. You just need a good amount of matches with him and then you are good to go. About the laning pace for the Gengar, I would highly recommend you to go on the central area, because as a speedster, Gengar definitely need farm, and before reaching level 5, he is super duper weak, so always make sure to focus on leveling up first. Anyways, this is the build and the boost emblem set that I use on Gengar. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 2, we have the King of Speed, Zorark, which is considered as the King of Speedster. He is the speed, the lightning of Pokemon Unite. I don't think I have to tell you anything about Zorark because most of the players know how strong and deadly he is. With Zorark, there are some players who even do 1 versus 5 clutch. That's right, Zorark has the potential to carry the entire game all by himself. Because of his speeds and dash abilities, he can definitely reach out to the backline of the opposing team and easily can escape as well. And most of the time in solo ranking, players doesn't pick specific counter for Zorark. That's where he gets the plus point. This is why if you master Zorark, there's a very high chance you can rank up faster in solo ranking. Because with the Unite move, he can also easily secure the objectives. But remember this, Zorark is one of the most hardest Pokemon to master. That's why most of the player doesn't use him. Anyways, about the best moveset for Zorark, I personally prepare Feint Attack and Shadow Claw. And this is the build and the boost emblem set that I use on Zorark. Now, let's move on to the next one. So finally, in the top 1, we have none other than Dhelmise. And there's no wonder why. Dhelmise is a melee all-rounder in Pokemon Unite, known for its heavy-hitting anchor attacks and deceptive durabilities through shield and self-healing. It was released on November 14. Since then, he was way too strong, and in the recent patch note version, he got little bit of nerf, but still he is super strong in this meta. He can literally do 1 versus 4 clutch if the user play Dhelmise correctly. Dhelmise is truly a nightmare for close range and melee attack Pokemons. If anyone fight Dhelmise face to face, he will eat them alive. It's really difficult to kill Dhelmise in 1 versus 1 situation. He got insane damage dealing capabilities as well as durabilities. So if you are watching this right now, I would highly suggest you to play Dhelmise and rank up faster before he gets nerfed in the near future updates. Because sooner or later, the developer will definitely gonna nerf him even more. About the laning page for Dhelmise, you can go any lane. He is suitable for all the lanes. And about the best moveset for Dhelmise, you can use Anchor with Whirlpool or Power Whip. Anyways, this is the build and the boost emblem set. You can take screenshot if you want. So that was it guys, and if this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you guys in the next upcoming video.